I don't know what the future holds, Matt, but I've certainly got unfinished business in Greater Manchester. And as I say, I got very frustrated in Westminster. I fell out of love with the place. The way it works, I think it makes a fraud out of people in that it makes people say things they don't fully believe in. It makes them vote in ways they don't kind of fully feel. And consequently, people end up, I think, getting lost in the Westminster system. And that happened to me to some degree. So when you come back to a role like this and you can kind of rediscover what you're all about, and you don't give that up lightly. And it is the thing that I think would take Greater Manchester up to the next level if we had a transport system that functioned as well as London. We're world class in many respects. If you look at the city skyline today, it's the skyline of an important city, isn't it? If you looked around the world, that's Manchester increasingly looks like that. But on the ground, things don't join up as well as they should. Public transport is fragmented, it's unreliable, it's overpriced, it's expensive. It's far more expensive to travel around Greater Manchester than it is to travel around London. So we are making progress. I have taken the decision to put buses back under public control. We recently successfully defended that decision from a legal challenge by the bus companies. So now the way is clear, and we will be bringing through the first franchise services under the B network, yellow and black buses across Greater Manchester from the second half of next year, starting in Wigan and Bolton. So the change is coming now, Matt, and I do believe that if we had a transport system that was as reliable, convenient and affordable as London, you just watch Greater Manchester go, because we would absolutely go up to that next level. I was 2 weeks into my time in office as mayor, and a very ordinary Monday night, to be honest. I played five-a-side, to be truthful. I popped over on my way home with a bottle of wine for my dad because it was his birthday, and then was at home watching Newsnight when the terrible news landed. So yeah, it's a moment that everybody, not just in Greater Manchester, but across the country, probably will never forget. It's one of those moments that you will always remember where you were when you heard the news, the terrible news.
And obviously, in the days that followed, Manchester really, I don't know, this happens in lots of places, but the spirit of Manchester really came together, didn't it?
It does happen with lots of places, but I think more so in Greater Manchester, there is a genuine sense of solidarity between people, of people wanting to come together. On the day after, the 23rd, we agonised, myself and Sir Richard Lees, about whether or not we should hold a vigil, because obviously there was the concern about bringing large numbers of people into the city. But together we decided we should do, because we knew people would want to show their respects and their solidarity for those suffering. And if for those who remember it was a truly unforgettable occasion. Thousands and thousands of people came into the city. The poem "This Is the Place" was read out by Tony Walsh, and it just kind of brought the city back from obviously what had been a traumatic shock.
It was extraordinary. That poem was just incredible. And what about, I mean, clearly we've been through an awful lot since then, not least the pandemic too. Do you think that sort of sense of community has survived the past 5 years?
Oh, certainly. If anything, it just grows. Actually, the attack at the arena, I think, had the effect of bringing people closer, making people stronger. The B symbol became highly visible around the city, and still is actually, and was a sign of sort of togetherness and strength. So we have had shocks since then. In 2018, there were wildfires. We've had obviously some serious incidents to deal with. Then a pandemic. It's been the case that through all of those further shocks, people have supported each other, and it's real in Manchester, and it's not just a recent thing, Matt. If you look back through time, there's always been an emphasis on, if you like, the togetherness in Manchester, the collective rather than the individual, and that's something that goes back a very, very long way.